This show is dedicated to helping you strengthen your family tree and live financially free. Welcome to the Marriage, Kids, and Money podcast, everybody. This is Andy Hill, and today we're talking about creating a lucrative work-from-home lifestyle as a full-time blogger. There are a lot of people out there that would love the flexibility to work from home, spend more time with family, and make good money. According to our guests today, blogging may be the answer. Kelan and Brittany Kline are my guests today. Kelan and Brittany manage a blog called The Savvy Couple. They help families organize their lives, simplify their finances, and unlock the freedom to do more of the things they love. Kelan and Brittany's story and advice have been featured in major media outlets like Thrive Global, Yahoo Finance, and Forbes. When Kelan and Brittany aren't crushing it on their blog, they're raising their daughter, Kaylee, and spending time together as a family. Welcome to the show, Kelan and Brittany.
Hey.
Thanks for having us. We're excited. What an intro.
Well, you've done some pretty crazy cool things, so let's learn about them right now, man. So
For sure.
you guys always weren't bloggers, right? You weren't making this sort of, blogging lifestyle happen. What were you doing before that, before you got into the online biz world?
Go ahead, Brett.
I was a fourth grade teacher before we started the blog.
And I was jumping around from job to job. I was a jail deputy for 2.5 years, and then I took an office manager job while we started the blog, and then kind of left that to do the blogging full time as well.
Wow. Okay, so talk to me about that change. When did you discover blogging and you said, well, that's much better than what I'm doing right now?
For sure.
Yeah, I think I had it. I say rough out of college. I kind of pictured what our life would look like. We've been high school sweethearts since 9th grade. So we've always been each other's best friends, dreaming together and like picturing our life and kind of aiming for what we wanted it to look like. I was going to be a law enforcement officer. She's going to be a teacher. We're going to spend summers together. And we quickly realized once I was jumping around job to job, finally got a job in law enforcement, did that for about a year, realized that's not what I wanted to do. I was working forced overtime. I was in a jail doing jail deputy stuff. So I was always around inmates, just a negative environment, working on holidays and weekends. It was just really rough.
Yeah.
In the first year of marriage, we never really got to see each other.
Opposite schedules.
You were going in, finishing your master's degree, substitute teaching here and there. And I was kind of carrying the load of our finances at that point, bringing the income in while she's finishing up school. So we kind of got to a point where we were like, this is not what we expected it to be. And it was an epiphany. We sat down at the dinner table and we were just like, what is going on? Like, we had this all planned out and it's not working out the way we wanted. This is so frustrating. And we kind of said, okay, I definitely need to find something that allows me to have more freedom of my time. I hate having commitments and doing things that other people tell me to do. That's just my personality. I'm a free spirit. So we were looking around. I was going to start a home inspection business, and I started to go back to school for that. I ended up quitting my job as a jail deputy and went and took an office manager position at a local Christian college, to kind of get my feet back on the ground and kind of find my identity again, because I was a huge identity loss leaving law enforcement, leaving that brotherhood. And eventually we ran into bloggers making good money, personal finance bloggers.
Income reports. It's like, no way these people are actually making this much money. It's
wild.
Not possible.
Yeah, so the first one we ran into was Michelle from Making Sense of Sense. We ran into Bobby Hoyt, and he was a teacher as well, so we could really relate to his story. And we just always loved personal finance. We loved budgeting together. We loved talking about numbers, projecting our future retirement goals, all that type of stuff. So it's just a natural fit. And it was the summer, you were off for the summer, kind of bored, like, let's find some side hustle to bring in extra income to help, knocking out our debt.
Yeah.
And we were like, let's start a blog. So July 2016, we started The Savvy Couple together, and I guess the rest is history.
Oh, that's incredible. So Brittany, what was your thought around starting a blog? Does this sound like a good idea to you? Did it sound like unbelievable with these income reports you were seeing?
Yeah, at first I was like, there's no way this is true. We both knew we wanted to make money, some extra money somehow. We talked about both like getting a real estate license. So that side hustle has always been in both of us, having extra jobs and trying to make extra money on the side. So we were just looking for something, and then we came across blogging. I said, well, we got nothing to lose really. So
yeah, $100 on hosting is what we got to lose. That's about it.
That's a good deal. Low, I guess, upfront money with blogging.
Yeah.
I was just speaking with somebody a couple weeks ago about MLMs and direct sales and things like that. And we were comparing blogging versus MLM with the upfront costs that are required for you to carry a lot of inventory and sell that product, versus getting some Blue hosting fees or something like that.
Right,
the beginning
exactly.
was completely different. So talk to me more about your financial situation around that time. You guys said that you were working a lot of jobs to, make ends meet. Talk to me about where you guys were. Did you guys have debt that you were dealing with? Things like that.
Yeah, when we left college, we both had total about $40,000 in student loan debt. Most of that was mine. Kelan was really blessed and got help with his college, but I took out a lot of student loans and debt that we were paying off. We just bought a house, so we had our mortgage payment. Newly married, we got married in 2013, so it's like just trying to keep up with all the bills.
After college, it was just like a whirlwind of like, here's adulthood.
Yeah.
And we just had, we had that $40,000 where those just kind of weighing on us, kind of, trapping us on our jobs that we had and just kind of chipping away at it for a couple of years. And then finally, once I'm kind of fast forwarding a little bit, we didn't start really chipping away and like really trying to destroy it when there's 25,000 left and we had the blog up and running and it was making good money and I was doing it full time. That's when we were having enough money come in that we both, that's another story. I felt comfortable throwing $5,000 at it a month to get it gone within 5.5, 6 months, where Brittany was kind of more reserved and not okay with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, let's talk about it. You've already opened up the bucket there.
So
so you have a little bit more of the aggressive nature, and Brittany has a little bit more of the conservative nature. I'm seeing. Is that right?
Oh, for sure. She just bought new iPhones right before we hopped on this interview. So yeah,
literally right before. But it was well planned out. We were looking for a while, and I found a good deal.
He's the spender. I'm the saver. Yeah.
Well, put me on blast like that.
It's good to have a balance. I have a similar situation in my marriage, and my wife balances me out. She helps me be a little bit more fun, I guess we'll say, for that matter. Yeah. Well, let's talk about how you guys started to build up this income. In the beginning, how much were you making with the whole blogging thing? And talk to me about how you started to ramp it up.
Yeah, so we started it in the summer and we kind of just had it as a passion project. Like, let's share with our family and friends how we budget our money, how we stay frugal and save money. Brittany's like the frugal queen. And I just love crunching numbers with the budget and investing and all that type of stuff. So we're the good yin and yang with personal finance. And we just started it as a passion project, started writing articles, sharing our story, just sharing helpful tips and tricks to our family and friends. And we were doing that night and weekends kind of for the first 9 months, just absolutely loving it, loving learning something new, working on it together, being purposeful with our time. We shut off the TV, and instead of working or like just vegging in front of the TV together, we were sitting at the table like building something. So it was really cool to have that with my wife and doing it together. And then at the 9th month mark, we had a little bit of traffic coming in, and we had a company reach out to do a sponsored post, and Britt's smiling because of what happened. They offered us $100, and I was stoked that someone offering us money. The 9th month, like, oh my gosh, all this hard work's paying off. And I actually felt bad taking $100, so I talked them down to 50. So we only got 50 from them when we could have got 100. But that was the first point where we made money, the 9th month of hustling, both of us, night and day. And that's when, like a week later, I think I went to Brittany and I just said, hey, Britt, we've been like stacking away money, avoiding as much risk as possible. Like we knew this point was going to come where I was going to quit and do either home inspection or do the blog full time. Like, what do you say that I quit in a couple weeks here? And we had a conversation and she said, I trust you and let's do this. Let's trust in God and have this jump and leap of faith and make it happen. And I like to preface that we had over close to a year's worth of salary saved up. So we're minimizing all of our risk in doing this. We set it up and we had a plan of attack. And I knew $50 isn't going to pay the bills, but we cut our expenses as well.
I still was working full time.
Brittany was working full time.
Landed a teaching job.
Yep. And then we also knew that I could pick up freelance work. So the first couple months of when I quit my job, I was picking up freelance work, working for VIP Kid. I got a digital marketing job working part-time. So I even was making more than I was at my other job within 2 or 3 months.
Excellent. Excellent. So Brittany, talk to me about your feelings at that time, being the conservative one in the bunch, about him saying, I'm ready to go do this wild and crazy thing after I've made $50.
I think the big change in me was because I saw the change in the light in him that I didn't see when he was at the jail and he was in such a depression. I just wanted to see him in such a better place. So he was excited, and we both were excited, and it was just a new person that I was seeing in him. So I 100% was like, let's ride this out.
She's
let's
the best.
See what happens.
That is awesome. That is support if you've ever heard it, my friends.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think she just got sick and tired of hearing me complain about my jobs.
I'm pretty good at that too. You just kind of wear them down if you talk about it enough, right? So,
sure.
Kelan, talk to me about what was giving you the confidence then to say, okay, I made $50, I can do this full time. What did you see in the future saying, I know I can make more, and how can you make more?
I think I'm pretty stubborn by nature. If I set my mind to do something, I'm going to do it. And I was seeing people like Bobby Hoyt, he's a teacher and he's doing it. So why can't I do it? And I have experience selling stuff online on eBay and Amazon. So I was always making money growing up. So I knew it was possible. And then another factor of that confidence was I was looking for remote jobs for like the past 5 months. And I knew that there was a ton of opportunity online. Like it's literally endless. If you just put in the work and like look for it and figure out what skills and purpose you have, you can find work online. So that just gave me the confidence, like, okay, here's $50. That's the sign. Like that's the start of the snowball starting. Now let's take the jump and trust it to work out.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So talk to me about post 9 months from there. You were starting to build things up. Maybe you were a little nervous, Brittany. Maybe you were a little nervous, Kelan, as you were trying to build this into a full-time thing for yourself. Did you consider quitting at all as you were going through it and just not seeing the results you were hoping for?
What do you think?
I don't know.
I thought about quitting last week. Entrepreneurship's like a roller coaster, and I think everyone goes through like slumps and they go through highs. It's you got to be emotionally strong going through it. But yeah, there's definitely been times, especially at the beginning, getting over the learning curve and like putting in that work with the unknown of if it's going to work out and putting all that time and effort into it, to kind of continue to pursue it.
That makes sense. So when did you feel like, all right, I think I've got this thing. I think I got this thing down. I'm feeling really good with it and we're making good money. When did that happen for you?
So it was about 3 or 4 months into becoming a full-time entrepreneur. I was working for VIP Kid. I had the digital marketing side hustle. I also took Bobby Hoyt's course, Facebook side hustle. I was going to run ads for local businesses. So I was doing a bunch of different things, trying to get streams of income coming in. And I actually put a post, I think it was in either Michelle's group or FinCon group, like, okay, should I focus my time on the blog or should I focus my time on making these other side hustles? And Jeff Proctor from Dollar Sprout, he said, you should focus, if you don't need the money right now, if you're okay and you're making enough money, focus on building something that's yours and your own. So that's when I really pivoted and said, okay, let's focus as much as we can on the blog and kind of slow down those side hustles. Yeah. And eventually I got to the point where it was like almost even, where I was making the same hourly rate working on the blog versus the side hustles. So that's kind of when I went full-time. Let's stop all the freelance work and let's go full-time on the blog.
Got it. So that was your transition then. You went from full-time work outside of the online world to more freelance work to supplement the income. And then you made a transition at one point to say, hey, I got to build my own property and make some money from that. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So what type of freelance work were you doing then? You mentioned VIP Kid and some other things. Talk to us about what that even means and what are some of those things you're doing to make money initially in the online world?
Yeah, so VIP Kid is a company that allows you to teach English to Chinese students, and you just need a bachelor's degree to do it. So somehow I got hired, and and I was teaching English, which is cool because Brittany's a teacher, and I loved it. It was like so much fun meeting those kids and really helping them learn English. And I have dyslexia, so it's crazy that I got hired and was teaching. So if I can do it, anyone can do it. And then the digital marketing, it was with a company I found on Upwork. I was just searching digital marketing because I knew I wanted to learn social media and content marketing and the back end of WordPress. So I found that job, and it was really just an account manager, kind of taking people's companies with an agency, writing blog posts, putting them into WordPress, going social media posts, graphics design, kind of everything that I need to learn for my own business. Yeah. So I learned those skills while I was getting paid and then used that towards our blog, basically.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're kind of learning by and being paid at the same time, and then utilizing those skills to grow what you have on your blog. So talk to me about what you guys are making today, maybe annually or monthly, so people can get an understanding of where you came from that $50 in the beginning to where you are now.
Yeah, so last year we were extremely blessed. We made a majority of our money, over 50%, through sponsorships. Last year we did $250,000 in revenue, and just under 200,000 of that was profit. So absolutely insane year.
Yeah.
It's crazy to even say that. But yeah, so the last 6 months to a year, we've been averaging anywhere between 10,000 to 20,000. Our best month before Brittany quit her job, and we were praying like crazy, like, is it time for Brittany to quit her job? Because that's a huge step. We're giving up her pension. We're giving up her health insurance, her income. Like, that's scary, no matter how much money you're making. But the month before we made that decision, for sure, and she put her 2 weeks in, we had a month that was $47,000.
More than my salary as a teacher.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
I get like shivers even saying that. But that was like the sign, like, okay, you guys need to do this together. That's your purpose. Let's go.
I love it. Well, I've got a million questions now. Maybe 250,000 questions, sorry. So tell me what it means to make a good amount of money from sponsorships.
Sure. So once you build an audience and you have an email list, social media following, and you have those readers that are diehard readers, and companies have gotten smart. TV ads are expensive. Paying on the radio is not the best. Billboards are a waste of money. So they're partnering with influencers, which are we consider ourselves a micro influencer, where we have a following of the potential customers or the ideal customer that company would want. So they'll partner with us where we already have that relationship and trust, and we can share their product or service to our audience, and they'll pay you a percentage or a flat fee to kind of put together a marketing campaign for them to market their product and service.
Got it. So how do you choose, and I guess this is probably a question for both of you, Brittany, how do you guys decide together who you feel confident in working with as a sponsor client?
Yeah, we definitely get emails all the time, like, who are we going to work with? And it's definitely on companies that we would use ourselves or products that we would get behind and that we use ourselves personally and that we truly believe in that are actually going to help people.
Yeah, I think we'll get an email at least once a day, like, hey, we want to sponsor this, a company I've never heard of before. So it's really, and this is a lesson that I had to learn in the beginning. Before, I would take any money. Like, I want to make money. I'll sponsor you. But now, like, that we have an audience and we have a brand and we have a reputation, like, we are very strict on who we work with to make sure that it's the correct company for our audience and that it is beneficial to them and us and the company. So it's like win-win-win for everybody. But yeah, we're very picky on who we work with. And there's a lot, we sign up for sponsorship networks. So there's a couple different networks you can sign up for, put your Google Analytics and link that to it, your social media, and you can find sponsorships like that. And then we also have an ongoing list of companies that we love and adore and know that would be useful for our audience that we'll reach out and pitch to them as well. And it's just been a blessing. It's worked really well.
That's incredible. That's incredible. So talk to me more, Brittany, about when you decided to make the leap from your full-time profession to doing this with Kelan, and then how do you guys split the workload? That's something I want to know too.
I think when our daughter was born, I just knew I wanted to be home with her. I don't think we thought about it too much before then. I mean, we did, but we didn't, because we thought, like, teachers, they have such good schedules. They have summers off, they have breaks, like, you get out at 3. It's like such a good schedule. Like, why would I ever leave that? But coming over to the blog and just having this ride with Kelan and just being able to serve such a bigger audience than a small class of 25.
Yeah. And you love teaching, so it's like a difficult decision. But
I am still teaching, just in a different way.
Exactly.
That's a great way to think about it. I was just thinking of that analogy in my head. Absolutely. Becoming just a teacher with a bigger classroom. That's very cool. So talk to me about what this money has done for your family. You guys talked about you being in a little tighter situation when you got married and having some debt. What does this new money mean for you?
I think overall, money just makes you more of the person and people that you already are. That's something Dave Ramsey says all the time, and I truly believe that. It was definitely stressful to have the debt and to know that, like, this was something we have to pay off. It's $500 a month that we can't get away from. So I knew, like, when Callie was born, the business was doing good. We sat down again at the table. And we were like, if we can eliminate this debt, that's like the only thing holding us back from possibly you joining us or joining me. So I think now it's just, we're not as stressed about money. We have money. We were super blessed to have an amazing year last year that we can put back into the business and continue to grow it and continue to impact people. And it's really about building our legacy and building our impact on the world now, and less about focusing on the money. And one thing I like to say is we've gone from surviving to thriving in our life.
That's very cool. So where do you see, as this business continues to grow, what goals do you have as a family financially?
It's a good question.
I'm like the dreamer, and I like spit ideas to Brittany all the time, and she'll either shut them down and be like, yeah, that's a great idea. We've always dreamed about, we love camping. We've always dreamed about getting a fifth wheel and traveling around the U.S.
Yeah.
And we also have this big goal of becoming financially free by 35. And we're frugal. Brittany's amazing at keeping our expenses low and budgeting. So that number is not that insane to kind of reach. It's definitely possible. So that's kind of the two things that we're really looking forward to.
That's great. What does financially free mean to you?
You go first.
Not have to worry about money, I guess.
Yeah, mine is, I'm a numbers guy, so having enough in the bank to take 4% out for every year and not have to worry about it and live off of it.
Got it. Very cool. So where are you putting that money, I guess, or where are you planning to put that money in order for you to do that, so people can understand how you're making this cash machine to allow you to live like that?
A lot of the money goes back into the business. We keep a lot of it. We just moved to an S corp, so I'm taking a salary now from the business, which is only the bare minimum that we have to take from the business to keep our lifestyle that we have now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're maxing out our Roth IRA and our IRA every year. We opened up an SEP account, which is self-employment pension, and we're dumping money into that. We have taxable investment accounts, so just a lot into the market. And we try to keep our checking and savings account as like lean as possible and put everything in the markets that's working for us.
That's very cool. Well, you're developing a business, so has it turned into more than just the two of you? You guys hiring any employees or contractors? How does that work?
It's a great question. Go ahead, Brett.
Yeah, we have a team, Team Savvy, we call them.
Yeah.
We have a virtual assistant. She actually used to be a dancer when I was growing up. So we dance at the same dance studio, and she actually lives really close to us, even though she's our VA. She's still around in person.
Shout out to Roxanne, foranothertime.com.
And we also have a writer.
Yep, Francesca. She just changed her name, moneyfox.com. She's from the UK. But yeah, keep our team real small, and kind of help them and train them and continue to help them grow their blog as well, and just keep a tight-knit family type of business, keep our costs low as possible.
That's very cool. So, Brittany, talk to me about how you guys manage your time now. You're both working, and you've got some folks to help you out. How does this work as a family now? How do you guys manage your schedule, since you're not, passing each other in the night? You're not working in the morning, and he's working at night. What's your schedule look like now?
That's a great question. It's constantly changing. We have not, how long? I've been out 7 months now, and we have not figured it out yet.
Neither have I, by the way.
I have tried staying up late and being the night owl. I take care of Callie most of the day while Kelan's working, so then I work at night. He gets up early and works, and then he works most of the day too. He says he doesn't, but he really does.
I don't work that much.
Yeah,
I track my hours. It's not that much.
Okay.
No. So yeah, it's been a lot more difficult than we expected to kind of get a nice balance, because you're either going to be an incredible father, an incredible husband, and an incredible business owner. It's hard to be all three at once.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like picking and choosing, and we finally have a decent schedule down where we're going to bed at the same time, and we're both getting at least 4 hours of solid focused work in a day. And I think we both average anywhere around 20 to 30 hours a week, and combined, that's, plenty to keep the business running along with our awesome team that helps us. But yeah, it's kind of, we've had to be flexible. We've had to learn how to be with each other nonstop every day, especially with the snow outside. We can't really get outside. So we make sure that we keep our schedules busy, and we're all doing stuff together and separately.
That makes sense. So, Brittany, what's it like to work with your husband in a business?
It has its hard times, that's for sure. We are completely different personalities. If you know anything about Enneagrams, I'm a number 1. I'm a perfectionist. So Kelan is far from that.
Far from it.
He likes to break the rules a lot, so it's hard for me. But we do a really good job at like having our times where it's like business meetings. We need to be focused. This is what we're going to talk about. And just having those key communications between us and the business, and
setting up boundaries between our marriage, between being a parent, and between business partners. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason I'm asking about the schedule, everybody, is that I'm personally figured it out myself. We were talking about that before we got on the call, before it was recording, that this is a really cool thing to be able to work from home and make good money. But yeah, there's still some realities of like, hey, how do we make this work? How do we make this work for a schedule? Yeah. And how do we make it, jive as young parents too? So I appreciate you guys being vulnerable with me, because I'm in the same spot as well.
For sure. I feel like it's almost harder when you have so much freedom to have a good schedule.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense at all.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like your jobs that you all used to have, the careers were the boundaries, right? Here, just come here now and leave here then. And now it's like, well, there is no boundaries. You have to create your own, and then so it's interesting. It's a struggle that I'm working on, and I know you guys are working on too. But in the meantime, man, congratulations on killing it like you have been. To come from a $50, 9 months of nothing to $50 to where you guys are, $250,000 in a year. That is it is insane. So let's talk to the person who's listening right now that is interested in blogging as a side hustle or being a micro influencer, as you guys said. What's the best piece of advice for them to start with, just to kick things off?
I think I would say that they need to start something. If it's a blog, it needs to be something that they're passionate about. Like, we are so passionate about personal finance, and that's why we get up or stay late to work on it full time and grind on it. It just has to be a passion. It's got to be what you talk about, what you just love, and then that will just make everything so much easier in blogging.
Yeah, it'll take some of the pressure off of, all right, I'm doing this just for money. I got to do it for money, because blogging, like any business you start, you're going to put in so much upfront time and effort and you're not going to reap the rewards right away. That it needs to be something that you're just passionate about and you can do as a hobby on the side as you continue to build it and get over the learning curve to continue to stay motivated to keep at it.
Kelan, talk to me about the passion side of things. Money's great, and obviously you want to keep making more of that. That's fantastic. Have you guys had anybody reach out to you that said, you've really impacted me with the work that you've done, and could you share that with us today?
Yeah, we get emails all the time on couples that have never been able to sit down and have a budget meeting together, that we've helped them do that, or help them really get motivated to pay off debt, or just figure out how to stick to a budget because they've failed so many times. Yeah. So those are the emails that absolutely mean the world to us. This was when we did the partnership with Debt.com. We put together a debt binder that people use and to pay off debt and get organized. We partnered with Debt.com, and we were able to give $1,000 away to one of our readers to kind of jumpstart their journey into debt freedom. And we got a personal handwritten letter back from that reader, and it was
amazing,
super touching and amazing. It's in the office. Made me cry. I'm an emotional dude when we got it, and it was just super special to know that we are having that impact on people.
That's awesome, man. Well, I'm a crier too, and I'm a big fan of Debt.com. They're actually a sponsor of the show, so we're in the same world. Okay, and there's also somebody else listening right now, and they're like, "Well, I've been blogging for a while, and I'm not making that much money at all." So, what is one takeaway that the hobbyist blogger or the person who's been blogging for a while can do to get to the level you guys are at?
I think the moment that you stop thinking of it as a hobby and you want it to be a business is when there's a light switch that goes off, that you need to be productive with your time. You need to set up a plan for your business and have a business model on how you're going to make money, how you're going to drive traffic, and just treat it way more as a profession and as a career than just let's write a blog post about how I'm feeling today or how I crocheted this, whatever it is. It's just focusing on looking at other people, seeing how they're being successful, seeing how they're making money, the articles they're writing, doing some competitor analysis or SWOT analysis, and coming up with a business plan and just starting to execute on it, basically.
I love it. That's very motivating for a lot of people listening, especially me. Thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciate it. Where's the best place for people to connect with you guys, learn more about you?
Go ahead.
We're on all social media platforms at The Savvy Couple, and Savvy's with 2 V's. We get a lot of confusion with that.
But yeah, if you go to our site, thesavvycouple.com, all of our stuff's linked there. Happy to meet you guys and help you out any way we can.
Excellent. Well, thank you both so much, Kelan and Brittany. I really appreciate you opening up with us about your big victories as well as the areas you guys are working on. And I look forward to, figuring it out together. So thank you both very much.
Awesome.
Absolutely, Andy. Thank you.
Thank you.